Shigaraki versus Mahito in the classic death battle. I'm not gonna lie, I have barely checked out death battle since a very long time, but I came back for this one because once I heard this battle was announced, I had to check this out. I mean, Shigaraki and Mahito, they're both sort of similar, and both their powers evolve in touching. But I really do gotta check this out. So link to their channel and video in the description down below. Make sure to like and subscribe to both me and Death Battle. Let's get into it. I like the art style right now.
Shigaraki versus Mahito.
The symbol of fear versus the human disaster curse.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Tenko Shimura was just a sweet,
going
shy
Shigaraki
boy
first.
who loved superheroes.
But sometimes the hand of fate can't abide sweet shy boys.
Ruthlessly beaten and abused by his hero-hating father,
Crazy,
Tenko pushed
too.
beyond his emotional limits until
Real name, Tenko Shimura, aka Symbol of Fear, age 21, height 5'9".
he activated his inherent superpower, or quirk.
It wasn't something cool like flight or
League of
super
Legends and
strength.
Smash Bros.
In his
player.
terror, he accidentally killed his whole family. Well, except for dear old dad. That one was intentional.
Tenko wandered the streets alone, silently begging for someone, anyone, to help him. If only a hero was there to save him.
Oh
Instead,
yeah,
the only open hand he found belonged to the devil.
All for one. The greatest supervillain in history.
He took Tenko under his wing, feeding a hatred of everyone and everything, and grooming him to one day lead his League of Villains in destroying
Yeah,
hero
awful on
society.
crazy, bro.
With that came a new name, Tomura Shigaraki, and an absolutely nightmarish quirk, Decay. It does what it says on the tin. Anything Shiggy touches with all 5 fingers turns to dust. The perfect power for someone who just wants to destroy.
Yeah, Decay is low-key powerful, bro.
For that dorky-ass costume. I get it, hands are his thing, but come on. They just look so dumb and fake.
Oh, those aren't prosthetics. Those are real hands.
Yep.
From his family that he killed.
You're from the dog?
Attached to his face. And
No, not the
explicitly
dog.
commanded to be left there by his mentor so that he would never forget his rage.
Wait, how do you even get the hands though? Cause I thought it was like bodies they were all incinerated though. So how do you even recover the hands?
Okay.
You just
While his
scoop up
use
all
of
the ash,
decay
just
started off
form it to a
relatively
hand.
weak, it rapidly increased in power and range as Shigaraki came into his own.
Decay isn't even limited to whatever he's touching. Anything that touches something he's decaying
Yeah, that's low-key
also
powerful.
decays.
Spreading like an all-consuming miasma that can wipe out anything from an enormous tower to an entire city.
If decay
Yeah, y'all remember that one scene, bro? It was in I think season 6, maybe. It was when Shigaraki came out that tank and he used Decay, bro. That was man.
reaches you, your only hope is to isolate the body part that is disintegrating before it gets to something vital.
After years of training with the
Or jump.
greatest supervillain of all time, Shigaraki was finally put in charge of his own team with one mission. He must kill his master's rival, the #1 hero.
Oh my.
Only to fall flat on his face.
Shigaraki was a terrible leader, quick-tempered, short-sighted, and, well,
Cringe! Oh, he's just so cringe. He uses gamer lingo unironically. He whines like a baby when things don't go his way. He's the kind of guy who would say normie in real life, in front of normies.
but they say defeat is the greatest teacher of all. Only through struggle could Shigaraki manifest his dark conviction.
What y'all
Right
think
as
Shigaraki
All Might's
smell
new
like?
protege, Izuku Midoriya, was coming into
My
his
goat
own
right
as
there.
well.
These two rivals, the inheritors of their master's blood feud, would push themselves past their own limitations.
Especially when All Might and All for One double KO'd each other, leaving Shigaraki to lead the League of Villains all by himself.
And with the stakes higher than ever before, Shigaraki stepped up. He personally battled the monstrous Gigantomachia for a month and a half straight.
He did?
And conquered
I forgot
other
about
villain
that.
organizations to create the Paranormal Liberation Front. Thousands of new soldiers for his personal army.
All to impress All for One's personal quack, Dr. Ujiko,
I hate
who
that guy
spent
so
months
much.
upgrading Shigaraki's body to make it more like his sensei's. It might have been constant agony, but Shiggy went from Chud to Chad.
Ujiko's experimentation vastly increased Shigaraki's strength, speed, and durability, enough to match and surpass even All Might's absurd power.
Sharing All Might's power between them, Deku and Bakugo were able to punch an island-sized hole in a cloud that reached 24 miles into the sky. We
Damn,
calculated
bro.
that before to be nearly 80 million megatons of TNT, almost as much as the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs.
And Shigaraki can now move fast enough that his body produces hypersonic shockwaves and can even catch laser beams.
And he's tough enough to survive Star and Stripes Intercontinental.
Stars and Stripes got hoed in this fight right here, bro. I'll admit that, right? Stars and Stripes got hoed in this fight.
Ballistic Cruise Punch!
She should have
Now
won.
the new name for my penis. Move over, gigantic Omega Storm. Anyway, it also made a blast so big it showed up against the curvature of the Earth.
Though he might seem invincible, when Shigaraki's body is pushed hard enough, he will evolve into a state of uncontrollable power.
So Decay became... oh shit, more hands!
Shigaraki can spontaneously generate flesh into existence, seemingly oceans of it in an instant.
Isn't that like not
Whenever
even
he
a
wants.
quirk? That's just
He
his
can
own
even
body
use it
now?
as a type of armor to defend himself in close combat.
But that's nothing compared to Ujiko's greatest gift. Shigaraki wanted to be the new All-for-One, so what better way than the old man's quirk?
All for One's quirk, All for One, allows its user to steal and store
Yep.
quirks with just a touch.
And All-for-One has hundreds of them stored up, collected over the years.
Each quirk is connected to a memory of its user's essence in the form of a spirit, a vestige.
Kinda like a piece of their soul. They exist in this kinda psychic world in Shigaraki's body, and can even act as a spiritual defense should it be invaded.
And with those vestiges came quirks like super fast healing, air blasts, radio waves, flight, telekinesis, teleportation of others, and the ability to track foes.
Damn, yeah,
They can
Shigaraki
even
got it for
combine
real.
multiple quirks together, like in this big-ass electric Kamehameha.
However, any vestige stolen or destroyed will also remove that quirk from Shigaraki's repertoire. They're also sentient, and some can even fight for control.
Which is when the second shoe finally dropped. Because Shigaraki also got All-for-One's vestige, that means All-for-One was now in possession of a shiny new body that he'd spent the last 15 years molding for him to take over.
Shigaraki's entire existence was planned from the beginning. Why? Because All Might's previous mentor was Nana Shimura, Tanko's grandmother.
Oh, that to mess with All Might. That is some next level hating right there.
He manipulated Shigaraki's entire life, all for one purpose: to create a soul so corrupted
Yeah, All
it would
for One is
grind
crazy,
away at
bro.
All Might's perfect world, allowing All for One to take full control.
But All-for-One's possession wasn't complete, and Shiggy
Yeah.
managed to fight his way back to the top, literally decaying his way through vestiges in the process, all to fight his rival Deku one last time.
Despite Izuku's best efforts to save him, Shigaraki was too far gone. His spirit decayed by years of venomous hatred.
And the new symbol of hope defeated the new symbol of fear, burying All-for-One's grudge for good.
All that Shigaraki asked was to be remembered as the heartless destroyer he was raised to be, and not the broken, angry, crying little boy he really was deep inside.
For just that one moment, though, Shiggy got in Deku the only thing he'd been denied his whole life, the one thing his lifelong
So sad,
nihilistic
bro.
tantrum was really all about. He got a hero who tried to save him.
Beautiful right there. Beautiful.
This battle is sponsored by Robin Hood Gold.
With Robinhood Gold, you can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on retirement contributions.
The privileges of the very privileged are no longer exclusive. With Robinhood Gold, your annual IRA contributions are boosted by 3%.
Plus, you also get 4% APY on your cash in non-retirement accounts. That's over 8 times the national savings average. The perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth.
The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive your 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at robinhood.com/gold.
Investing involves risk. Rates subject to change. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold at $5 a month for 1 year from first match and must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to robinhood.com/boost. Over 8 times the national average savings account interest rate claim is based on data from the FDIC as of November 18th, 2024. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC. Ever since Cain slew his brother Abel and
Now we
wetted
have
his fields with his
Mahito.
blood, man's greatest fear has been his fellow man.
But what if this fear took on a life of its own?
What if all that negative emotion humans felt for one another spilled from their bodies and congealed, forming, over time, a living being fueled by malice, which believes in nothing but the law of the jungle?
Well, then you'd have the special grade curse with the patch face, Mahito. Oh, I've had people tell me I've become a human disaster curse when I've had
What
too
y'all think
many
Mahito
burritos.
smell like?
Mahito is one of the deadliest beings to ever
5'11".
afflict mankind. He's no mere mortal, though, but a cursed spirit. Innumerable spirits exist, weaker or stronger depending on the amount of anxieties, jealousies, hatreds, and fears humans feel about them.
Like the fear of locusts, kinda weak. Or the fear of smallpox, getting stronger. Or the fear of fire. Oh, goodbye, Tokyo.
So it follows that mankind's fear of itself would be extremely
Mahito's been one of my
powerful.
favorites on
Those
Kid.
negative emotions manifest as Mahito, a being composed of cursed energy.
It's basically like evil ki. Cursed energy can be used to make spirits way stronger, faster, and tougher than any normal human. And it's invisible, making curses like Mahito impossible for the untrained eye to see. Only a life or death situation can galvanize a normal person to see a cursed spirit.
That also makes cursed spirits virtually immune to physical damage. They may be physically present in space, but can only be harmed by attacks that embody spirit matter like cursed energy.
Which makes curses insanely hard to get rid of, like ghosts, cockroaches, or my ex. That's why you need a jujutsu sorcerer to come in and kaizen the shit out of them.
Did you know that 99.1% of people watching are not subscribed? And 0.9% are? Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss more content like this. I really enjoy doing this and I like putting out videos. Alright, now that I said what I need to say, we can cut back to the video now.
They call it exorcism, but I like the way I said it better.
Curses and sorcerers have battled each other for millennia, waging an endless war over the fate of humanity. Almost exclusively in Japan, though, for some reason.
But Mahito was special. You see, most curses are basically dumb animals. But Mahito has so much cursed energy that it gave him sentience.
So he was recruited by
And he
King
started touching people's faces for no reason.
alongside other special grade disaster curses to wreak havoc upon the world. In fact, they made Mahito their leader.
And even more frightening than
He was the leader?
intelligence and bloodlust, Mahito possessed philosophy.
Perhaps informed by the tragic meaninglessness of interhuman conflict, Mahito is an existential nihilist, believing in nothing but his own will to power. It's a dog-eat-dog world.
Yeah, right here.
Mahito
Touching people's
is the
faces.
wolf.
Which also makes him kind of a goofball. If nothing matters, why not have fun with the slaughter? Really get your steps in. He loves to dig around and toy with your emotions like a cartoon character before slitting your throat.
An appropriate analogy considering his curse technique, idol transfiguration.
Yeah,
His cursed energy,
that power is straight diabolical, bro. Man.
Mahito can control anyone's soul with just a touch, including his own. In fact, he's so good at manipulating his own soul that you can't even kill the bastard without directly targeting it.
In Jujutsu Kaisen, the soul and the body share an immutable connection. Whatever happens to the former affects the latter.
This lets Mahito squash, stretch, and shape-shift his body into literally anything he wants. Like Play-Doh, he can turn his limbs into blades or clubs, grow wings like a bird or fins like a fish, reform his body around injuries, or even create clones.
Curse users are naturally unharmed by their own ability. Should he touch a human, though, his alterations to their body are
Oh, God,
instantly
yeah.
fatal.
And since he's attacking your soul, those physical wounds are gonna be impossible to heal.
Even if his alteration isn't directly fatal, the human body won't last more than a few moments in a transfigured state.
All that with one touch.
Oh, man.
I thought her
Man,
was
this shit is
bad.
this
His
nigga,
powers mean
bro.
Mahito-
This man Mahito was on demon timing, bro, in this arc, man. Damn.
treats humans as effectively disposable dolls that he can
Like
gleefully
Shibuya went through it.
experiment on. The more casualties, the better, especially if he gets to break your spirit first and watch you suffer.
Even more twisted is when he combines two transfigured humans together for soul multiplicity, essentially a giant torrent of body horror flesh
Like,
that he
oh my
repels
God.
at an opponent. Ugh.
Mahito is unbelievably creative with his application of idol transfiguration, and despite being a newborn curse, consistently keeps experienced sorcerers on the back foot.
It helps that he's a quick study who's picked up a number of different curse techniques, like the Black Flash.
By applying cursed
Oh, yeah,
energy
that
within
thing.
1 microsecond of an impact with an enemy, space itself will distort, exponentially amplifying its force by a factor of 2.5.
Not only does this hurt like a mother, it restores your curse technique and gets you fully in the zone.
And would require reflexes moving nearly 1,000 times the speed of sound. It's no surprise then that Mahito also unlocked the pinnacle
Also
of
got
sorcerer
nasty domain
techniques,
expansion.
the domain expansion.
Oh shit! More hands! A domain is like a barrier of cursed energy, but if you're
But
caught
Mahito and
inside,
Shigaraki
you
had a
can
problem
use
with hands.
auto-transfiguration instantly, without even needing to touch you.
It's called the self-embodiment of perfection, the ultimate expression of Mahito's absolute control over his victim's body and soul. The only time it ever failed was against the student sorcerer and Mahito's archenemy, Yuji Itadori.
Because not only was Yuji a barf-inducing goody little two-shoes
got that
who
boy
believed
Sukuna
in
in
the
him.
inalienable rights of all living things, blah, 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 he also had a curse inside of him,
The king of curses, Sukuna.
which meant Mahito's ability
Who's
affected
probably on
both
Fraud Watch
souls
as well.
in Yuji's body. Sukuna didn't like that. No surprise, and kicked Mahito's ass, forcing Patchface to fight with a handicap whenever facing his pink-haired menace.
Yuji's belief in the value of human life flew directly in the face of the world that Mahito knew to be cruel and meaningless. So he made it his mission to crush Yuji's spirit before killing him, murdering his friends, defiling their corpses, and brutally battering him before going in for the kill.
And he's got the strength to do it. Mahito's one of the most powerful curses in the world, and his
I have a thing. I guaranteed you, Mahito would have probably became as strong as Sukuna if he was left alive.
growth is exponential.
Fellow disaster curse Jogo was able to summon a massive meteor capable of reducing the city of Shibuya to ash.
That'd take an energy of over 800 kilotons of TNT.
And Mahito can take as good as he can give, especially when, in the throes of struggle against Yuji, he evolved, unlocking a vastly more powerful form.
Does that turn
the
into Frieza?
instant body of distorted killing.
Yeah, that's basically Frieza right there.
Complete with armored exoskeleton and armed blades, this was a taste of the almighty curse Mahito was growing into. A true blight on all mankind.
It wouldn't last. In a bitter battle of resolve, Yuji won out. In a dog-eat-dog world, there was now a bigger wolf.
So he tucked tail and ran away like a bitch. What do you know? Life suddenly became a whole lot more meaningful the second it looked like it was about to end.
All that gleeful nihilism, just a bitter hypocrisy in the end.
For him, maybe, but Mahito found a convert in his archenemy. After a battle that wiped out thousands of innocent people, Yuji's youthful spirit was gone. The only thing left that mattered was exorcising this curse.
In a way, that was Mahito's final victory, the destruction of another human being's soul. He may not have been around to see it, but the curse Mahito inflicted on the world would bring it to its knees. Hey, do you see that join button? Yeah, that one. That's your ticket to being a Death Battle champion. As a champion, you get all sorts of exclusive Death Battle content, like extra videos, live chats, and sending us your own matchup ideas. And the support helps us make even more Death Battle. So thank you for being a champion.
Alright. After seeing all that, I already knew who I was going to go with from the beginning, and I know what I'm still going with. I'm going with the boy Shigaraki, bro. I'm going Shigaraki. I have Shigaraki clearing this fight easily.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
Death battle,
It's
please.
time for a death battle!
Oh, so since I've been in a Shibuya, bro. So this place here take a break. Ah, damn.
I'd heard of a powerful villain stalking these
Okay.
parts. My organization is going to tear this putrid world down around us. We could use a freak of your talents.
Little old me. Do I want to be king of the social rejects? How about I bring them your head instead?
Fine by me. Let's call this your audition. Sick of them.
Okay. Guess that would make sense. He has access to the no boost. Ooh. Oh, that was clean right there.
Did you actually just say that? God, how lame!
Damn, getting that.
Audition over. Did I get the part? Decay!
Bro, can this place not catch a break, bro? Oh, okay. Hit him with a black flash?
What a rush!
Oh, he already going into that freezer form. And bro just turns into Hulk.
That all you got?
Domain expansion.
Oh.
I can read your soul. You're just a scared little boy whose daddy was mean and wants to make it everyone else's problem.
Ooh.
Grow up.
I knew it. I knew it.
Hands off my masterpiece.
I had a feeling that would happen, bro.
I felt your soul too. You only hate humanity because you were born that way. Totally random. I hate them for a reason. You grow up.
I told you. I told you Shigaraki got it. I told you Shigaraki got it. I told you. I accidentally muted it. Oh my god, I accidentally muted it. Hold on a second. I told you Shigaraki got it.
What did I say, Wiz? Like
Easily.
With their
Easily.
complex power sets, this match was a puzzle to figure out, which is why we're breaking it down to 3 categories.
Come on.
Physical
I knew
stats,
Shigaraki got it.
survivability, and their powers.
But first, let's address one thing. Could Shigaraki even see Mahito?
Yes.
It's an invisible curse after all.
Cursed energy and quirks are notably different,
Yeah.
and Shigaraki wouldn't be able to see curses normally. However, even regular humans can spontaneously develop the ability to see curses
Yeah.
in life and death scenarios. And with the search quirk, Shigaraki would have had no problem tracking it.
So seeing Mahito wouldn't have been an issue. With that out of the way, we can jump into their stats.
This was no contest.
Yeah.
Despite the disaster curses being able to destroy entire cities with their cursed energy, Shigaraki scaling to Deku and Bakugo meant he was calculably millions of times stronger.
Obviously.
He was faster too, considering he could react to light beams, while Mahito's Black Flash capped out at nearly 1,000 times the speed of sound. Nothing to scoff at, but Shiggy was thousands of times faster. Shigaraki takes stats.
But survivability was a little trickier to figure out.
Yep, in terms of raw durability, Shigaraki was a lot tougher, and his ability to generate new flesh meant that he could heal any wounds he might receive super easy.
However, Mahito is a curse
Yeah.
and is immune to the kind of overwhelming physical damage Shigaraki could dish out. Not only that, Mahito's regenerative ability via idle transfiguration meant that he'd come back from anything short of spiritual damage.
Considering
Yeah,
Mahito's
bro.
unique curse body, he should actually get the edge in survivability.
Which presents a crucial question. Could Shigaraki even kill a curse like Mahito in the first place?
Or would Mahito's unkillability give him the time he needed to eventually put Shiggy down with Idol Transfiguration?
It all comes down to their powers.
Shigaraki
Yeah,
had a
because the thing is, I know you're probably gonna say, because Shigaraki can perceive souls, as we've seen before, my
with all
hero.
of the crazy quirks All For One had collected over all the years, but none that we know of could properly kill a curse. That didn't mean Idol Transfiguration was a surefire bet either, though.
Of all things, Shigaraki's vestiges served as a spiritual shield from the effects of Idol Transfiguration. The fact that Mahito could not avoid targeting Sukuna while attacking Yuji meant that he couldn't target specific souls inside a person.
And Shiggy has hundreds of soul-like entities inside of him. Sure, each one down means he loses a quirk, but that's more than enough time to land a single hit with Decay, especially considering how much faster Shiggy is.
And Mahito has no way to defend against Shigaraki's primary quirk. Decay has affected spiritual beings in the past. Again, vestiges.
Oh,
In fact,
I didn't
he
know
was
about
able to
that. Oh,
damage
yeah.
Deku's vestige. And
Oh,
have
yeah,
that
that's
damage
right.
transferred to the Deku
That's right, he did do that's right.
in the real world.
Mahito may be made of spirit energy,
Uh-huh.
but he still has a physical form. In fact, sorcerers that couldn't naturally target the soul were able to fight him on even footing. No reason to think Shiggy wouldn't decay him like everyone else.
Giving Shigaraki the third and final edge. It was a unique duel to the death, but Shigaraki's overwhelming might, unstoppable powers, and deadly decay spelled the end for the
Yeah, this was
disaster
pretty
curse.
obvious it was
Nothing
gonna go to
else say.
Shigaraki.
You really gotta hand it to Shigaraki.
The winner is Tomura Shigaraki.
Let's go!
Next time on Death Battle.
Who we got? Oh, Doomslayer!
Subscribe.
Y'all doing it again? Y'all doing Master Chief? Come on, bro. We already know this is gonna go to Doomslayer, bro. We already know this is gonna go to Doomslayer. There's no point in doing it again. Oh, man. Well, I guess they're about to have their second rematch going on since Master Chief won the last one. But I know it's gonna get Shigaraki. Peace out to all of y'all. Stay good.